So about a month ago, I posted a video about how much I used to make on the Dolly moving app, and I wanted to share it with you guys because it was a great way for me to earn some side hustle money, and I didn't really need anything to get started. If you have a truck, you can make a lot more money, but if you don't have a truck, you can work as a hands. You can show up as long as you can get to the place where the move starts. You can get there, start making some money, and it turns out to be some good hourly wages. I'm going to go through what I used to make one more time for you guys. But first, let's take a quick look at my setup on the app, the tools that I used every day when I went to do dollies and help people move. As I mentioned, I didn't have a truck. I just had the Mazda 3, but I did invest in a couple of things that I wanted to start the business. So let's go ahead and check those out real quick. Here is the dolly that I used for my job, and it actually cost a little over $100. It was like one of the top end ones. I decided I wanted this, and it turned out to be a good investment. I mean, even after I ended up quitting Dolly, I used this a bunch. I've been through like 2-3 washing machines at my house and a couple dryers, so I definitely needed that. And I also picked up a pair of work gloves because if you're going to be moving a lot, you definitely want to protect your hands. You're going to get some gnarly blisters if you don't have these. And yeah, so using that equipment and just working, basically with my hands and having a couple other things on me, the earnings were pretty good. As we flip through these emails, you can see that a lot of the time I was making $30, $40 an hour, sometimes more than that, sometimes a little bit less, but it turned out to be pretty good income. And I wanted to just, show you guys that one more time. But now let's kind of get into more about why I stopped working for Dolly, because there's some important things that came up here. And there was one specific event that caused all of this, and it's something that all of you guys have to keep in mind if you're considering working for a moving app. It's really important to kind of watch out for this because it can throw your whole life off course a little bit if you mess yourself up here. I'm going to get into that in a little bit, but let's talk a little bit more about why Dolly was a good option for me. This is actually the second gig economy app that I ever worked for, and if you've seen the channel, you know that I've tried a ton of apps, but this one popped up. I had done Lyft before in 2015. I used to drive the Mazda 3 right here that you see. I would drive this around and take passengers around Seattle. That was my side hustle while I worked full time. But eventually the '05 Mazda 3 just didn't fit the requirements, so I was looking for something new. And that's when a buddy of mine told me about Dolly. He had just bought a pickup truck, so he was kind of excited about using that. And he had talked to another friend that was using his truck to move on the side, as a side hustle and making some good money. So I heard about it through him. He never actually ended up using his truck on the app. And not having a truck, I just went on as a hands, but I started making some really good money. And I've always been someone that likes to exercise, someone that likes to lift weights, someone that enjoys that type of thing. So getting paid to do that seemed like a huge plus for me. And as you saw in the earnings, the money is good. Like even not having a truck, you can make some really solid cash doing this. So I don't want to discourage anybody from getting out there and hustling. You want to get out there and make that money, you absolutely should, but just keep in mind the realities of what can happen when you're doing a job like this that puts your body to work every single day. So even though this was over a year ago, I actually remember the exact move and the specific day that I stopped moving with Dolly. And I was doing an office move over in Bellevue. I was helping a family-owned business move stuff from an old office into a new office. It was a really pretty quick move considering we moved an entire office, and we were almost done with the move. We had moved all of the large objects from the moving truck into the new office. There was just a few office chairs left to wrap it up, and I was moving one of the office chairs in and like literally not even lifting it much, and my back just went out. I threw it out, and it was more than just a normal, throwing out your back. I had done this in the past. In high school, I used to lift a lot more weights, and I didn't always have the best form, so I was doing some squats one time and really hurt my back. I actually had to just lay flat on a couch for a while, couldn't move. But as we get older, it becomes harder and harder for our bodies to recover from this, and that enthusiasm that I brought into the job wasn't something that I could continue to bring with this back injury. It's actually a little over a year has passed from that, and my back still has pain. I still have problems doing certain things, and I've had to change up the way that I exercise, my posture, the way that I eat, so many things about my life to try and continue to improve this. And there's actually a lot of positive that has come out of this. It shifted my perspective from, okay, here's an app job where I don't even need to bring my car into play. I don't have to depreciate that asset or have any wear and tear on that vehicle. and all I have to do is move stuff. But it shifted my perspective into understanding that my body is probably the most important asset that I have. So unusual wear and tear on that is a bigger detriment to your life than anything else, and it's something that you should really control as much as you can and take care of as much as you possibly can. So going forward, I've actually shifted the way that I work. I still do gig economy apps from time to time, but recently I've been taking some online coding classes. I've been learning the Python language using Code Academy to study for that. I don't really know how it's going to go, but I figure that I'm learning a skill that's valuable, that is in high demand. So it's definitely something where there's going to be a ton of competition for it, but I'm competing against people with a skill set that I'll have to learn and perfect, as opposed to competing with people for kind of unskilled labor and something that anyone can get into. So it's just changed that perspective a little bit. I still think that the gig economy and the apps have their time and place, and I honestly do spend a little bit of time doing certain apps for side hustle income while I'm studying, because I do like to switch it up and continue to have that income coming in. But just reframing the way that I think about how I work and how I can continue to work, and generate that good income that's reliable for the rest of my life is something that's, really come from this one experience. And so once again, the goal of this is not to discourage you from using a moving app. Obviously get out there, get your money, hustle. If this is something that you want to do and like to do, do it. But do have that perspective of where you're at and where this, sits in your bigger life plan. If this is a skill set that you really think you can use for the long term, it might be good quick money right now. It might even be really good money. As I mentioned in the last video, there were some people doing this with their own trucks, with their own box trucks, in a neighborhood in a city like Seattle where tons of people are moving and buying houses. They were absolutely crushing it on the earnings. So, get out there and get that money while you can, but understand that it's probably not something that you can do forever, and, just be careful when you're out there. And if I can give any, positive advice about how to approach the app, there were some things that kind of bothered me about it. Getting into it as a hands, once again, as I mentioned, I didn't have a truck and I wasn't working with anyone specifically. I was just getting matched with whoever I could to get the job done. I wasn't really picky about that, but a lot of times I ended up getting matched with people that had almost no experience. There was one time I got matched with some dude that was just hungover and honestly didn't have the ability to lift much weight even when he wasn't hungover, just, based on what I saw from him. And so, getting yourself into a situation like that, where even if you're lifting with perfect form, someone else can cause a mistake that could potentially get you hurt. Just be careful about that. If you can, select someone else to work with that has good experience, you're on the same communication level with, so when you're moving stuff, you don't get yourself into any sort of trouble there. And there's a ton of other equipment that you can buy to do this more safely and with less effort. I definitely did purchase some stuff. I have a dolly that I used and some working gloves. Those are kind of the basics. You might even be able to get away with not having a dolly because most of the people that are helpers that have a truck do have their own dolly. But it's something that, if you're doing a lot, you should probably get your own. But there's all sorts of straps, all sorts of other lifting gear that you can get to take that load off of you and make this job a little bit easier. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for all of the latest gig economy news and app updates.